My name is Marcos. I am 39 years old, and this is not a story about success or fame. It is a quiet story, a real one. It is the story of how I slowly lost my life without noticing, and how I finally decided to stop. One morning, I stood in front of the bathroom mirror. I looked at my face for a long time. My eyes looked tired, as if they had not rested in years. My skin looked dull. My shoulders were down. I did not look sick, but I did not look alive either. In that moment, a simple question came to my mind. When did my life start to feel so heavy? From the outside, everything looked fine. I had a job, I had a home, I had food on the table and people around me. Many would say I had no reason to complain, and maybe they were right. But inside, something felt wrong. I did not feel joy. I did not feel excited about the future. Most days, I felt empty. My life followed the same routine every day. I woke up early, already feeling tired. I went to work, did what I had to do, and waited for the day to end. When I came home, I ate something fast, sat down, and looked at my phone. I scrolled without thinking. At night, I went to bed feeling exhausted, even when I had done nothing important.
I was alive, but I was not really living.
For a long time, I told myself that this was normal. I said, this is just adult life. I believed that feeling tired and empty was part of growing up. But deep inside, I knew something was missing. I felt like my days were passing, and I was just watching them go by. Slowly, I started to understand what was happening. My life was not destroyed in one big moment. It was lost little by little because of small habits I repeated every day. They looked harmless, but together they were powerful. The first habit was procrastination. I always said I would start later. Later I would change. Later I would learn something new. Later I would take care of myself. Tomorrow, I said again and again. Tomorrow sounded safe. Tomorrow felt easy. But tomorrow never came. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into years. While I waited, my life stayed the same. Because of this habit, I stayed stuck. I did not move forward, but I also did not go back. I was just standing still, watching time pass. And every year, it became harder to start because fear grew stronger. The second habit was escaping into my phone. My phone was always with me. When I felt bored, I opened it. When I felt sad, I opened it. When I did not want to think, I opened it. It gave me quick comfort, but it took something important from me. My time and my attention. Hours disappeared without me noticing. At the end of the day, I felt empty, but I did not know why. Little by little, silence became my enemy. Silence forced me to think, and I did not like what I felt, so I filled every quiet moment with noise, videos, messages, images, news, anything to avoid listening to my own thoughts. The third habit was the way I talked to myself. Inside my head, there was a voice that never stopped. It reminded me of every mistake I had made. It said things like, "You are not good enough. You were too slow. You always fail." At first, I tried to ignore it, but over time, I started to believe it. Those words became my truth. Because of this voice, my confidence disappeared. Even small challenges felt big. Even simple decisions felt heavy. I stopped trusting myself. I stopped believing that I could learn, change, or grow.
The fourth habit was fear. Fear controlled many of my choices. I wanted to try new things, but I was afraid of failing. I wanted to learn, but I was afraid of looking stupid. I wanted more from life, but I was afraid of making mistakes. So I stayed where I was. It felt safe, but it made me unhappy. Years passed like this, quietly, without drama, without big problems, and that was the danger. Nothing forced me to stop. Nothing made me change. My life was comfortable, but empty. Slowly, I was losing myself.
One night, after another long day, something different happened. I came home, sat on my bed, and for the first time, I did not take my phone. The room was silent. At first, the silence felt strange. Then it felt uncomfortable. My thoughts became louder. My chest felt tight. I felt nervous. In that moment, I asked myself a question I had avoided for years. If I continue like this, what will my life look like in 10 years? I tried to imagine it. I saw the same tired face, the same routine, the same excuses, and suddenly I felt afraid. I cried that night, not because I was weak, but because I was tired. Tired of running away from myself. Tired of pretending everything was fine. In the silence, I understood something important. No one had ruined my life. There was no enemy outside. I had done it slowly, through fear, distraction, and bad habits. But that night, I understood something else too. If I had learned these habits, I could learn new ones. The thought was small, but it gave me hope. I did not change everything the next day. There was no miracle, but I made one decision. I stopped waiting for tomorrow. I decided to start with one small step. When I felt the need to escape into my phone, I waited a little. When the negative voice spoke, I answered softly. I said, I am learning. I am trying. Some days were hard. Some days I failed. Sometimes I returned to old habits. But this time, I did not hate myself for it. I understood that change is not perfect. It is slow. It is messy. What mattered was that I did not stop. Over time, small things started to change. I slept better. I felt more present during the day. I started to enjoy simple moments. A walk, a quiet morning, a real conversation. Life did not become perfect, but it became real again. Today, I still make mistakes. Fear still appears sometimes. The negative voice still speaks, but it does not control me anymore. I no longer wait for my life to start tomorrow. I know it starts with the choices I make today. If you are listening to my story and you feel something familiar, remember this: you are not broken. You are not late. You do not need big changes. You need small ones. One small step, one small choice taken today. My name is Marcos. I'm still learning, still growing. I am finally living the life I was losing. And if I can start again, so can you.
Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.